the retired director of DSS that was analyzing it. If you listen to him, you see that they deliberately came to the southwest to cause trouble, because they felt that they are able to kidnap people and then tell the government, give the government their condition. The government will meet it up. They thank God that our security agencies are very good. They are very, we need to appreciate them, because if they had achieved their purpose, their plan, it would have been worse, because they could come in anytime and give you condition and say this is what we want, and you have to comply. But thank God that the Oyo State government was resolute, the federal government was resolute, and the tactical team sent, the police, they were resolute, the army and the other arms of security, they were resolute, and I'm happy that we arrive at this point.
All right, Doctor, can you walk us through the analysis on how this rescue operation happened? How were they able to get it? Because a lot of people have been speculating, actually. We're wondering, is it actually a rescue, or were they released?
From the best of the information I had, they were rescued. The plan of those people was different. As I said, I heard from the expert. He told us that what the plan was, that they have some people in the prison, some of their leaders. So they wanted to come to the southwest, which is the center of, where the president comes from. And journalists are so many here, so they will put pressure on Mr. President so that he will comply with their condition. But unfortunately for them, they met their trouble, because they didn't know that the DSS has also worked very hard to locate those that were communicating with them. By that, they located the house of the residents of their own relatives. So they have family. They don't want to die. And I learned that they now posted the video. They arrested their parents, their sisters, uncles, and so on, relatives. So they now sent the video to them in their den. That look, these are your people. If you touch any one of those children, these people are gone. That was why they couldn't touch any of the children again, because the way they started was not the way they finished it.
And what does this say about the intelligence situation in Nigeria currently? Them being able to track down their families, because we have other situations whereby we've seen the videos of these terrorists or bandits online, and we keep hearing, people are asking, why can't you trace, why can't you track, why can't you? But this time around, they were able to track, or they did track. What is that saying about the situation in terms of technology and the intelligence gathering in Nigeria currently?
Yes, it shows that we are improving, and it also shows that the expertise of those that were engaged, because we learned that once they got their family members and they send the message to them, say, look, they are in our hands. Their request was changed. Initially we learned that they were asking for 1 billion, and then to bring in their masters that were inside the prison. But later, when they were shown, they couldn't touch any of those children again, because if they have continued with the way they started by killing that man, it was unfortunate. They killed him. So I'm sure that they would have continued, because they wanted to get their masters out of captivity. They said that was their plan. And when they now saw that the government was resolute, the president was resolute, the security agencies too, like it ended by losing some lives. But we have achieved our purpose, that look, we cannot continue on this trajectory. You understand? So it takes courage, and then we need to, from the youth of our children, we should be able to learn some things. In other climes, information is important. They must have seen some traces that something is going to happen, and it's better to nip such in the bud, right? So the bottom line is that they didn't know that that's the way it's going to end, because I'm sure you reporters, you won't report everything. But I learned that a lot of them were neutralized. So thank God that they are back.
All right, religion has always played a role in banditry. And what I mean is that most times they use it as a tool to cause discord, especially in the north. Did you see that playing out in this abduction?
That was their problem. You know, religion is a sentimental issue. You don't want to, you believe your own is the best. Yorubas will say, if anybody has not gone to another person's farm, he will say his father's farm is the largest. God has helped us in this part of this country that people are educated. If other areas are like Yoruba land, they wouldn't find any way to operate. But religion in this part of the country is where you find, in a single family, you find people that are worshiping Shango. You have Muslims, you have Christians. I remember when I was very young, when Ileya comes, I'm a Christian. When Ileya comes, all of us will gather ourselves, we'll go and eat meat. When Christmas comes, the same thing, we carry our fowls, and, you know, we celebrate together. In fact, I remember very well that when I was in the primary school, I have a friend. Whenever Ramadan comes, we always break our fast together. Meanwhile, I would have eaten in the afternoon, but I will join them. So, what to thank God for? Education is important. Thank God for the rate of education, in the percentage of educated ones in this part of the country. So, education is very important. You'll be able to reason. I mean, you will be able to cooperate. You see the reaction of people about before they were rescued. Anybody from this side of the country, you say, they say, oh, you know, you see their reaction that it was genuine. Everybody wants them to be, you know, to be released. So there are some parts of this country that they will say, well, that's the way God wants it. There are some parts of this country that if accident happens and people die, instantly they will bury them. There is no, they are not waiting for anybody. But it's not like that in the southwest. So I want to be very. I'm happy that the way we have taken each other in this part of the country is like brothers and sisters. If you hit someone, the other one is also, you know, a victim. So I think the religion will not play what they thought it will play. So I'm happy to say that we should be proud to be citizens of this part of the country.
Still talking about schools, what exactly failed in the Safe School initiative that was put in place? Because, you know, we've had the case of Chibok girls, Dachi, now Orire. Why is it that schools are still like soft spots for terrorists or bandits to attack? Where has the government failed in this Safe School initiative? Because if you look at the Chibok girls, it is established that Boko Haram is against, you know, Western education, but then still the schools are, you know, probably not protected enough, if at all they are protected to some extent.
Well, it is not always good that it is when something has happened, bad thing has happened, that you now begin to prepare. We are supposed to be proactive. You know, like those people that came to kidnap these children now, I'm sure they didn't think that it will work out like this, it will come out like this. So if anything, you are talking about school security initiative, what do you call it?
The Safe School.
Safe School, yes. It was when they began to abduct children that idea came. You understand? Like, we are supposed to, let me give an example of the UK. There are some people who call Iya Insurance and Baba Insurance that are retired. They will always sit down and if you see any strange, maybe they have been sitting down there, they have been doing that for maybe 10, 15 years. And they realize that there is a car that speeds. They will take note. They will inform the police. They will say, we saw a white car, number so that, you know, for the past 10 years, I've not seen anybody speeding like that. So information is important for intelligence. So that when we have, it is the work of every one of us. Every one of us. Look at this, the one we are mentioning now, this Oluyole issue. It is now that we are now realize that we need to love each other. When we love each other, then we have information you release that information. You don't know that whether the DSS have gotten an information before that. If you bring your own, it will bring light to it. So this issue of school safety depends on all of us, the parents, the neighbors, those market women, and so we have to cooperate so that it will end up well for us. So it is the job of everyone, police, immigration, all of them, army, armed forces, and the citizens. So we have to cooperate so that we won't see that again. When there is an information, we need to be proactive. So God will help us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so still talking about proactiveness, what other things or measures do we need to put in place to ensure that we don't have a recurrence of something like this?
It is very simple from my perspective. It is when you see something, you say something. When you see something that is strange, you see somebody writing back in the, at the wrong hour of the day, maybe around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Where is he going? Then if it's early in the morning, when we go for prayers in the morning, and you see strange, because there are some of these atrocities that are carried out in the night, under the cover of the night. So everybody must, if you have trained your child that if you see anything, look at dogs, for example. If you have dog in your compound, even look at fowls. When you hear them sounding a strange sound, something has happened that's abnormal. So all of us, we have to agree together, we have to join hands together to make sure that we are safe. So information is very important, information, and that's what it depends upon. So I suggest that my opinion is that everybody should be involved. Everybody, we should be our brothers' keepers.
All right. We should all be vigilant.
That's right.
Yes. So let's talk about the controversies online, the public. There are controversies of these 8 people that were arrested. They said they neutralized some, and they arrested 8. Now people are wondering, with the radicalization and integration and rehabilitation of this ex or surrendered repentance, yes, that's the word, repentance bandit.
After they have killed people.
Yes, and then they bring them back into the society.
And integrate them.
People are wondering now, why did they arrest those 8 people? Why did they arrest them? Why did they just neutralize them with the rest, like they said, like we saw? Yes, that's the question.
I'm sure they must have done their homework very well, the security agencies, because I'm very sure that those 8 that are arrested, probably they needed information from them, and they are going to gather information. All the rest, they have neutralized them. So for them bringing 8 of them, there must be something that he wants to get from them.
So after
because I listened to the Minister of Defense, former Chief of Defense Staff, he gave an instruction straight that
shoot on sight.
Yes, when you see that, and if anybody does not shoot, that person is part of them. That's a tall order. That's a difficult instruction. So I'm sure by now you won't see anybody saying they want to radicalize. After you have killed people, people are dead, people put people in sorrow, then you want to repent.
So what would happen to these 8 after they get the information?
We'll see it.
As it plays.
Some people are even saying that it depends on the state government or the states where such a thing happened. Where it happens, the arrest and the reintegration of these bandits, that if they are going to be reintegrated, then it must depend on the governments or the state where it took place or where they were arrested.
I'm sure that there's pressure on the government now not to allow such a thing to happen again, because don't forget that we are Africans, we are Nigerians, we are not European. I watched when I was in England, I saw a news on the TV live. The town planning officer wanted to go and enforce the demolition of a property, and the owner of the property brought out gun live, and the man was reading according to section so this, and the man said he said he will kill him, and they killed him live. So their own reasoning is different from our own reasoning. They killed the man, chief town planning officer. He saw God and he was still reading. So according to section so we are hereby to demolish. The man said he will kill him, and they killed him. I say, let me just, I'm not being sentimental. I say, Yoruba man, somebody carry gun and you know it's loaded and you are waiting because you want to carry out the assignment that government has given to you. So I think their reasoning is different from our own. We love each other. Look at the way we operate. In those days, we have Ga Masifa, and rather we have Ga Fulani. We have the Fulanis, and we develop, we grow up together. We became family, so to say. But because of this trouble now, that has changed. You have to be suspicious of them. So I think the bottom line is that story has changed now, and we know what is current in town. So we are not Englishmen that they will say somebody has killed 200 persons and then they will now give him amnesty. They want to try the European system of handling security, but it is obvious that it cannot work here. So we must have our own system of operation here.
All right. So now the abductees are back.
Yes.
Thank God for that. What should be done, or what should be put in place to help them recover? And what should be done to the family of those who lost their lives?
I think that job will be mainly the work of a clinical psychologist that will be able to work on them. Because as you have seen them, what they have gone through in over 50 days is terrible. Some of them have adopted, some of them will just agree and say, well, they are helpless. So they need to call experts. The way you talk to them, the way you sort of help. Some of them needs help. Some of them need how do I call it? Psychologists to talk to them for several days, and when they are becoming normal, because their life has changed now. Their thinking has changed. We need to really help them to be able to to fizzle out all those troubled system in them. So God will help us. We are happy that they are back, at least.
And for the family of those who lost their members of their family in the process.
Well, let me say this, that before they took the job, they know what was on ground. They know what they wanted to take. So they don't. But still, we need to show concern for them. Anywhere I see the uniformed men, anywhere I see that, I saw a soldier like last week. I saw him at the supermarket food co. Sorry. I saw him
at the mall.
At the mall. That's
right.
So I saw, and I walked up to him. I came down from the car and I said, "Thank you for keeping us safe." He was very happy. I said, "How much is his bill?" They told me his bill, and I paid. He was very happy.
It's impressive.
And I'm sure that he will take that to his colleagues, and they appreciate us, because so you cannot be fighting for somebody's cause, and then the person you are fighting for is saying that, why are you fighting? So I also said we need to appreciate them. We really appreciate them. We need to show that we appreciate them.
All right. So speaking about
the two teachers.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Florence. You just mentioned the soldiers. Yes, they knew what they were going into. What about the two teachers that were killed in the process?
Two teachers?
Yes, one shot
during the abduction,
and
one later killed in the forest.
Let me tell you my take. I realized that there's no reason for anybody to be afraid of death. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. So we need to know that when you see issues happening like that, we need to go and commiserate with them, support them. Apart from that, there's nothing you can do about that, especially when it comes to killings like this. So I suggest that the government should show that we love them. The citizens should show that we love them. The community should show that also. Whether they are Christian or Muslim, they should also be shown love and care. Because if it would have been anybody, what happened to them could happen to anybody. They didn't plan it. The joyful thing about this matter is that already we have 8 of them in custody. They will have to put, you have to let them realize that what you have done is bad, and that will serve as a deterrent to others. If you don't do that one, and you think you can come back and say you have repented, it depends on the reaction of the government. So we need to support them. We need to rally around them to tell them that we feel for them.
So still speaking about teachers, there's this debate that's been going around. Some people feel like the action that the NUT, Nigerian Union of Teachers, that they took, the strike, was unnecessary. So I'd like your take on that, because now there was no schooling for 2 months in Ogbomoso.
Really?
Yes, there was no schooling, and these kids have missed about two months of activities in school. Other students in maybe Oyo State now, they've like moved past them. So people are feeling like it was unnecessary. They acted from a place of maybe fear or emotion. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, my opinion is that there's nothing wrong in going on strike for such a thing, but the length of the period is what I'm not happy with. It's good to show the government that we need. Don't forget, the plan of those people was that the Southwest has a vibrant journalism, right? And what they had in mind was that they want to use that pressure. They will put pressure on the government. By that, they will be able to negotiate. That was what they had from the director of the retired director. That they thought with that one they will put pressure on the government, the state government and the federal government. But unfortunately, it failed them. So there's nothing bad in reacting by going on strike. Nothing bad with that, but the length of the period, because I used to say that I love the way Muslims, bury their dead. I say that even as a Christian, I used to say that once it has happened, then you move forward. I watched a video of a general at Boko Haram enclave territory, that they shot one man, one soldier. The soldier was apparently dead, and he just did his wedding a week earlier. So his best man was now weeping, and the general said, this is not the time to weep, because bullets were coming. So we need to toughen our minds somehow. We need to encourage each other.
All right, we've been having a lot of breakthrough on the part of the military. We've been seeing a lot on social media, crackdown on terrorists or bandit cells and camps, a lot of arrests being made, a lot of them being neutralized or unalived, like they say it. What is the military doing differently? Is it that they are showing more now, or they are doing more?
Thank you. You see, they are more resolute. One. Number two, the equipment we needed were not sold to us earlier in the years past, and I don't know why. Before you buy, for example, an Apache helicopter, or there's this Super Tucano that we wanted to buy, then they didn't sell to us. Obama did not sell to us. I mean, we were on air. He didn't sell to us because of one law that he used. But when this man came, he called Buhari, was the first person, former head of state, was the first person to be invited to the White House. Say, what do you need? I will sell to you. So I think the problem is that the equipment we needed earlier, we didn't have it, because it was our own. We were safe before this trouble started. So now they are getting those equipments now, and when you are equipped, you get more boldness to confront challenges. So I believe that it's because we have more equipment now. We have Tucano, Super Tucano, we have Apache, we have bullets. All the ammunitions are available, so there's no excuse again. Before you buy these things, you will have to look at some laws. Even if you don't want to buy, then you remember that there was an aircraft that was stopped in South Africa where they found about $9.something million cash. Because when I learned that when they wanted to buy from the US and they couldn't get it, they wanted to go to the black market. And intelligence of the US told South African government that jet that is coming, they have cash. So these things are not, most of these things are classified information that you don't want to tell, that you don't want people to know. So I believe that we have more equipment now, we are more prepared, and we are recruiting every day. So when you are equipped, even the Kalashnikov rifle, when I heard the story about Kalashnikov, it was a general by his name, and that's Kalashnikov, that the man designed it. When they went to a battlefield and they have casualties, and there were people, they were recuperating in the hospital bed, so he went to greet them, and they were saying, "Oh God, there's no equipment, there's no good rifle." He said he got to another place, "Oh God, there's no good rifle." So the man now designed it. In fact, the Pentagon sources in the US said America will not meet up with that technology in the next 30 years. I listened to them. It's on the internet. So equipment is very important. When you are equipped, you are happy. So I think what has changed now is that we have more equipment now. People are encouraged to go out, and if you know the cost of the equipment, you commend the federal government for going into it.
All right. Speaking about intelligence and the rescue operation, the videos that came out, there's one thing that really stood out was that the children were looking, well, they were looking kept for, people that have been in captivity for like 56 days. They looked clean and they looked happy. And they looked happy. They were playing.
But they were rescued.
But then we have the situation in Ekiti State, and those children, were looking.
Oh God.
Yes, they were looking like they had gone through a lot, and people are wondering like what played differently. What's the difference in the rescue here and the rescue there? How are these children looking like this? And there's a controversial, but were they actually abducted? These are things that we are seeing online, and we are wondering.
If we see the reaction of the woman, the principal, it tells it all. She was in a position where, well, we were not there, but with what we have seen, it is very likely that she must have forgotten her own situation, sympathizing with the children, talking to them, encouraging them. That must be there. Don't forget their children too. Their own reasoning does not pass. Go to class, study, after 2 hours, come out, go and play, eat dodo and rice, and come back. So their reasoning, you cannot compare it to that another person. Then another thing is that these people that came to Oluyole must have done their homework very well. To them, they must have gotten a place that when we pack them, we bring them to this place, we pack them. Then it appears as if they were very ready for what.
And they fed them. Allegedly, well, maybe.
What I heard was that they blocked their sources of food. Those that are taking food to them, taking logistics, they blocked it. Their route of escape also, they blocked it, and they were now closing on them. So you cannot compare when the federal government is carrying out an assignment and the local government. That's the way I see it, that they have their own federal government. They have their government. They are people from ISIS, you understand, and Al Qaeda. They're tough, but they didn't know that they are going to meet, tougher resistance from us. So I'm sure that those that happened in Ondo State and Ekiti State, I believe that those ones are not as organized as those that operate this one, because they have thought, like I said, they have thought that if you're able to come to the southwest and kidnap like that, people will be shouting and they will put pressure on the government of the day so that they will not release their people. But once they have heard that is not possible, so that was what put them in trouble. So those that happens in Ekiti State are not as well organized and like these ones.
The rescue?
No, not the rescue. The perpetrators.
But even the abduction? The abduction,
yes.
All right.
I'm sure that they didn't know that they could meet this resistance. They thought they have planned. I learned that they got to a place that they saw some dilapidated buildings. So they must have seen those. They must have gone there to see those things before. I think, we have to thank God that it was a success.
Yes, and indeed we are grateful. So, conclusively,
right.
Doctor, your parting shot to residents, people of Oyo State listening, and even beyond Oyo State.
My parting shot. I want to call on everyone to be conscious of what is happening in your neighborhood and pass the information. it is very important to know that in fact, we need to learn that we have to love each other. And then any information that is useful, that you might think is not even useful, any information that is strange to you. You see people, 3 or 4 persons carrying 3 or 4 bikes very early in the morning. Where are they going to? Where are they coming from? Though we have some of these people that came from the north, like because of the trouble they have. Some of them does not even have accommodation. Some sleep at filling stations, as we have been hearing. But my parting shot is, people should be conscious of them, their movement. You have to, if you meet somebody that you have not seen, challenge the person. Don't be afraid. Just say, can I help you? So, what is important is for us to be vigilant. When you see a strange thing that happens, open your mouth and say, tell your neighbor, do you know this person? And make sure 1 or 2 persons are around. Call them and then challenge the person.
Address it. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Vincent Ayodeji, for coming on Breakfast Fiesta today.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations to us once again.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dr. Vincent Ayodeji is a public affairs analyst, and we've been talking the Oriri rescue. We'll be taking a break now to bring in our second guest, as we'll be talking about jungle justice. All right. So do stay with us on Breakfast Fiesta.
Fast Fiesta, we bring your day alive. It's the Fiesta. 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 Chit chat and inspiration for the morning. Regular heads up on global observances. Thorough and insightful analysis from experts and professionals. You don't have to look any further, cause Breakfast Fiesta serves you all you need. We make your day come alive. Ensuring that you begin your day on a bright and productive note, bringing you an array of topics from different spheres of life. Informative, entertaining, with all the spice to make your day just right. Breakfast Fiesta, we bring your day alive. It's the
Yes, you're welcome back to Breakfast Fiesta on Oluyole 98.5 FM. As we move on to the next topic, which is the menace of
Jungle justice, mob attack in Nigeria.
all right.
And to do justice to that, we have our guest with us already, Mr. Fatai Akisomi. He is a legal practitioner. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, my sisters.
All right, some time ago, like last week, there was a clash in Ojo.
Yes.
And according to police reports, some people had wanted to rob a POS operator. And in the process, one of them was caught when the man raised an alarm. He was beaten, tortured, later rushed to the hospital by law enforcement agents, but he eventually died. Now, according to police reports, there was a reprisal after that, and that escalated into what happened in Ojo just the days ago. So, still talking about jungle justice too, we won't forget in Eori, the Edo, that's the Rumi 16,
Yes.
16 people or hunters who were lynched in Edo State. We won't forget too the Alu 4 in 2012, where 4 students of the University of Port Harcourt were lynched in broad daylight, and while some policemen looked on. And we won't forget Deborah Yakubu in Sokoto too, who was lynched, who was killed in broad daylight as well for an alleged blasphemy. And recently too, Umulahair Aliyu was also lynched in Kaduna just weeks ago, after she had ran into a police station according to reports, and was later released to the mob to deal with. We can go on and on. These are just few cases out of what have been happening
in Nigeria
when it comes to jungle justice. All right, back to my guest. Should there be any reason, or is there any justification whatsoever? Of course, someone stole, someone tried to commit murder, a person is suspected of wanting to kidnap a child or an adult. Can there be any form of justification for mob attack or jungle justice?
Constitutionally, there is no justification for mob attack by any individual or group of people. There is stipulations that once an offense is committed, even the offender is presumed to be innocent until he or she is taken to the court, and where the principles of fair hearing also will also be observed. He will be allowed to narrate his own story for the court to rule on. So definitely, any attempt by anybody or group of people to do this extrajudicial killing is criminal offense on its own.
And they can be prosecuted.
They can be prosecuted
yes. For it. All right, the Breakfast Fiesta continues. We have to go on a break, and then when we come back, we go on a break for the news, and then when we come back, we'll continue with our guest.
Ensuring that you begin your day on a bright and productive note, bringing you an array of topics from different spheres of life, informative, entertaining, with all the spice to make your day just right. Breakfast Fiesta, we bring your day alive. It's the Fiesta. It's the Fiesta. It's the Fiesta. It's the Fiesta. It's the Fiesta.
You're about to listen to the hottest sound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 98.5 FM. You're listening to the Urban Frequency. Listen all you want. It's always free. Thanks for showing us the way to better radio.
Oluyole 98.5 FM.
Here we go.
96.5 FM. Oluyole 96.5 FM. 96.5 FM. Oluyole FM 98.5.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. The news on the hour. Former Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, has pleaded not guilty to allegations of forging his university degree and his NYSC discharge certificate. The former minister was charged to court by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, was arraigned before Justice Joyce Abdul Malik of the Federal High Court in Abuja. Naji is facing 6 counts of forging a degree certificate from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN, and a National Youth Service Corps NYSC discharge certificate submitted during his ministerial screening in 2023. After his plea of not guilty on Monday, the prosecutor informed the court that he he was ready to proceed to trial with 3 witnesses available in the courtroom already. He was arrested on the 30th June 2026 by operatives of the Department of State Services (DSS) at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja upon his arrival from Enugu. The Lagos State government has forecast rainfall across several parts of the state on Monday, advising residents to remain vigilant and ensure drainage channels are kept free of refuse to minimize the risk of flooding. The Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, indicates that cloudy conditions accompanied by light southwesterly winds and intermittent rainfall will prevail across the state at different periods of the day. Wahab also urged residents to take precautionary measures in view of the forecast. Lagos typically experiences its peak rainy season between June and September, a period often characterized by heavy downpours that can trigger flash floods, particularly in low-lying communities and areas with blocked drainage systems. And that ends the news on the hour. Thank you for listening. Good morning.
Ẹ káàárọ̀, ìròyìn òwúrọ̀ la mú wá fún yín. Mínísítà fún mọ́ ìjìnlẹ̀ sáyẹ́ǹsì àti ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ tẹ́lẹ̀ Iche Nnaji ti sọ pé òun ò jẹ̀bi ẹ̀sùn yíyí ìwé ẹ̀rí ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ àkọ́kọ́ dìgírì láti ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga àti ti àgùnbánirọ̀. Mínísítà tẹ́lẹ̀ ọ̀hún ló farahàn nílé ẹjọ́ gíga nílùú Àbújá níwájú adájọ́ Joyce Abdulmalik lẹ́yìn tí àjọ tó ń gbógun ti ìwà ìbàjẹ́ nílẹ̀ yìí ICPC gbé lọ sílé ẹjọ́. Nnaji tí wọ́n ka ẹ̀sùn 6 ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ sí lẹ́sẹ̀ fún ẹ̀sùn yíyí ìwé ẹ̀rí ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ àkọ́kọ́ dìgírì láti ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ní Nsukka àti ìwé ẹ̀rí àgùnbánirọ̀ tó fi sílẹ̀ lásìkò àyẹ̀wò fúnpò mínísítà lọ́dún 2023. Lẹ́yìn tó bẹ̀bẹ̀ póun ò jẹ̀bi lọ́jọ́ Ajé, olùpẹ̀jọ́ sọ fún ilé ẹjọ́ pé òun ṣetán láti kojú ìjẹ́jọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹlẹ́rìí 3 tó ti wà nílé ẹjọ́. Àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ DSS ló fi kélé òfin gbé lọ́gbọ̀njọ́ oṣù kẹfà ọdún yìí ní pápákọ̀ òfurufú Nnamdi Azikiwe nílùú Àbújá lásìkò tó dé padà láti Enugu. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ti sọ pé ó ṣeé ṣe kí òjò rọ̀ láwọn apá ibì kan nípínlẹ̀ náà lọ́jọ́ Ajé, tó sì rọ àwọn olùgbé láti jẹ́ ojúlalákànfin ṣọ́rí kí wọ́n sì rí dájú pé wọn ò dalẹ̀ sójúsàn omi láti dènà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìkún omi. Kọmíṣánná fọ́rọ̀ àyíká àti ohun àlùmọ́ọ́nì inú omi nípínlẹ̀ náà Tokunbo Wahab sọ pé àyípadà ojú ọjọ́ pẹ̀lú atẹ́gùn àti òjò látìgbàdégbà ni yóò wáyé láwọn àkókò kan níká ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún lónìí ọjọ́ Ajé. Wahab tún rọ àwọn olùgbé láti gbé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ láti dènà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìkún omi. Láàárín oṣù kẹfà àti kẹsàn-án tí àwọn òjò alágbára máa ń rọ̀ léraléra nílùú Èkó máa ń ní ìrírí ẹ̀kún omi pẹ̀lú bí àwọn òjò alágbára ṣe máa ń fa ìkún omi pàápàá láwọn agbègbè tí wọ́n ti dí àwọn ojúṣàn omi. Èyí lópin ìròyìn òwúrọ̀. Ẹ ṣeun.
Oluyole FM, àwọn ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rédíò tó fàkọyọ. Oluyole FM, Ìbàdàn làwọn tá a ti ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀. Oluyole FM, àwọn ìṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rédíò tó fàkọyọ. Oluyole FM, Ìbàdàn làwọn tá a ti ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀. Oluyole FM, Oluyole FM.
Oluyole FM 98.5.
Oluyole FM 98.5.
You all you need. We make your day come alive.
You're welcome back, and it's still Breakfast Fiesta on Oluyole 98.5 FM, where we are on our second topic for the morning, the menace of jungle justice and mob attack in Nigeria. And our guest is Mr. Fatai Akinsomi, a legal practitioner.
Yes, so we were talking, and I was going to ask, what is the punishment for? No, let's start with the difference between murder and when somebody is killed during a mob attack. What is the difference?
Well, once such illegal act is conducted or happened, the police will definitely investigate the circumstances for the killing. So the circumstances for the killing will determine the level of the offense and the type of punishment that may likely be inflicted also on the perpetrator of such act. So when it's been tried or is taken to court, the type of it will be determined whether it's going to be charged for murder, depending on whether there is whether it's going to be charged for manslaughter or it's going to charge for inferior in serious injuries on the victim.
So in this
is the level, is the degree and the level of the injury and the circumstances of the case.
So in this case that the victim eventually died.
Yes.
How would he be tried, and how would they know who to pick? Because it's a group. How would they know who exactly did it? And the people watching too, are they part of this crime?
You see, it is in most cases it's always very difficult when it comes to the issues of mob actions, where many people will perpetrate such an act, because you will not know you will not be able to determine the real person that even inflicted such an injury that killed the victim. So if it is a mob action, at the end of the day, police will still investigate, and probably during the investigation they will be able to determine who is the main perpetrator. Yes, automatically they will arrest large numbers of people, but investigation will show the levels of involvement of individual.
How about the passerbys, the onlookers, the people watching?
Sometimes some people even take videos. They make videos.
Yes, actually, which will also help the police.
But are those people not accomplices too?
No, you should regard those people as even they are more or less helping in the investigations.
Like eyewitness.
Yes, they are witnesses who are witnessing that I saw this woman. After going through the videos, there may be nexus between the woman they mentioned or the man they mentioned and the video. So this will make those who are investigating the case to erase any doubt that probably it's this person or it's not this person. They'll be able to say conclusively this was the man that inflicted the first injury before other follows. And once that person is picked, it may lead to arrest of other perpetrators. Probably they have heard they are meeting earlier than when the course of actions happen.
All right, meeting down punishment or sometimes sentencing criminals or offenders on the street and carrying what they term as justice out is something that has been with us for a long time. One would expect that at a time like this, with advancements, education and progress, modernization, things like this should have become a thing of the past. But we still have people being lynched on the streets. What needs to be done, and what are we not doing in order to be rid of jungle justice in Nigeria?
You see, that's why I said the circumstances of the incident also, I said, is very, very important. For example, if an estate which was attacked day before yesterday, they killed somebody, they came again yesterday, they killed somebody, they now came again the third day. Immediately every neighbor hear that they have come again, they will throw the law apart and want to retaliate and inflict such serious injury which can lead to death. So the circumstances of the case, it will vary from one scenario to another. So it's annoyance and provocation at times is a very good defense when it comes to the issue of probably committing crime. So if such scenario as I painted it now happen, you will those who the first attack at the first day, the annoyance may not be there because they are seen there for the first time. They came the second day, they now come again the third day. Everybody will assume that if they don't do serious thing now, they may be their turn to not tomorrow. So they may probably it's the same set of people that are coming. They want us to eliminate them. So it's and then when it comes to the police will look at the circumstances. And the law says we can also defend yourself too. It doesn't say that because you cannot. Yes, it's true. You cannot kill, but does not say you cannot defend.
But that's like on the extreme side of this mob attack. We have cases where maybe someone just took bread and the whole market just descend on that person.
The moment they hear thief,
they just once they just carry tire, they just want to deal
generally
with the person.
Yes, that's why I said generally the law does not support any extra killing, any extrajudicial killing in whichever form. That person should be arrested and taken to the police station for investigation and prosecution.
All right. So now, in defense of jungle justice, sometimes some people will tell you that when criminals or offenders or people that they feel are miscreants are sometimes caught or apprehended and handed over to the police, sometimes these people are let off the hook. They are let off the hook, and some go back to those who were key actors in apprehending them to either threaten them or to revenge. So there's a sort of trust deficit between the masses and the police. What can be done to address this? Because once this is not addressed, then jungle justice may not totally leave us.
Yes, I align with your submission. You see, generally, and in most cases, once a case is charged to court, those who reported the case, they will just abandon prosecution. Most of them may likely be key witness. Psychologically, they will be afraid, and the judge cannot manufacture evidence to give a judgment. So they will not come, and it will be very, very difficult for the police to be able to prove the case when most fighter prosecutors are when witness, they are not there. They will just be psychologically afraid, and why they are afraid, there will be so many reasons. Probably some of their gang, they went to them, they are threatening them. It also happens in political matters too, where key witness, they will just abscond, you will not see them, and at the end of the day, the perpetrators of the act will be left to go home. Because they cannot be kept in perpetuity for offense that you have not been able to prove, and those who allege they are not there to prove it. So there is a lot of factors that with time and with public enlightenment, I think it will be reduced. It cannot be totally eliminated because individuals their own individual differences on how they see things from different perspectives.
So speaking about the police still, the case of this lady that she got to the police station, but they released her to the mob. What should they have done differently at that station? Because I understand that it can be overwhelming, but at the same time, they should have been able to protect that lady as she had gotten to the police station, but she was released. What do you make of this?
Which case is that one? I don't
There's
know.
a case of a lady in the north, Oluyole, I believe, a teacher that was mobbed not quite long ago, just months ago.
The premise upon which my sister prays that where the person went to the police and
it was alleged that when she was being mobbed, she ran into a police station, but eventually she was released because they felt they would be overpowered by the crowd. So she was released and she was lynched.
Eventually lynched. Well, that will be an unprofessional conduct by the police, because if it is a police post, you should be able to, there is avenue to ask for reinforcement, because human life is not something that you just treat with levity. It's not something that you can just take with impunity, as if because there is no replacement. Once one is gone, and that is why Lord does not allow anybody to be killed in an extrajudicial manner. So that is worrisome. If it happens in such, it's worrisome, because you are expecting that when you get to the police station, yes, you are in the hands of government who can protect you, a government agency that can protect you. So, but if you now turn otherwise, it's too bad. So, it's too bad. And I know that if thorough investigation is also conducted, some of the policemen may be found culpable of committing probably negligence or any other, depending on the level of investigations.
So for main actors in mob killing, do they really get prosecuted, and what's the punishments for such?
I said it depends on the levels of the involvement. Some policemen have been charged for extrajudicial killing or inflicting injury on innocent citizen. So some have been dismissed, some have been sentenced even to death. So, and the same thing the civilian too. So it depends on, it's not that you commit extrajudicial killing or maiming and then you will now be allowed to go scot-free. Definitely such a person will be sentenced or convicted according to the level of the involvement or the type of injury inflicted on innocent citizen or suspected criminal too.
So in the case of this lady now, she was able to get to the police station, but many other cases, it happens that market square, public places where maybe the enforcement could not get there in time. So should we make like a local policing system at marketplaces, public places where these things can happen, so that we can, curb it a little bit? Like you said, it cannot be completely eradicated.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot, you see, I think the last visitor or guest, your last guest, I had him giving a scenario when he was in England, and town planning officer went to a house probably to demolish the structure or do one or two things, and he told him, I will kill you, and he eventually killed him. He still extrajudicial killing. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that it happens all over. Don't let us assume probably it happens in Nigeria alone. No, it's a universal phenomenon that is very bad, that people frown at, but it still happens. There are some people individually, they cannot control their temperament, and if they have access to anything that can make them inflict serious injury on suspected criminal, and Nigerian constitution, even if you see a criminal killing directly, you saw him korokoro, the law still presume him to be innocent. It doesn't say you should kill, but the temperament and you must not absolutely erase the issues of even drunkenness. Some of these things that we are talking, some happens in the bar, in an hotel. We have both parties, those that killed one and the other one, they are drunk. we may not be there, but from evidence that we are this later, you see that they just finished, enjoying themselves when the thing happened. It may be the result of drunkenness. So that is another circumstances which investigation also will also reveal. So whether it happens in the market or it happens in a secluded area too, once a crime is committed in such a form, the law says it will be investigated and they will be able to find the level of involvement of individual so that they will know under which sections such a person will be charged. If they arrested 10 people, all of them may not be charged. Some may be charged as being as conspirators, depending on their level of involvement.
Bars are like private owned. We're talking like marketplaces, streets, roads. These places are public places. So how can we, in those places now, how can the government help to reduce mob attacks?
You see, the problem with the example you are laying, you must not lose sight of the fact that if there is a market, there are some who are in the market to sell legally. Don't lose the sight of the fact that within that market also there will be some criminals, jobless people who just want to use that opportunity when they say hey, they are there. Some they are to pick valuable items from individual.
Exactly.
Some are there to create more confusion so that they say it will be extremely rowdy, so that they will have access to want to do illegally.
Okay.
So even in the market, that is where it's also very even difficult at times to control the crowd. There are some who will be shouting to divert people's attention to where there is the main something. Even some of the friends, for some friends of the same people perpetrated such acts, they may be outside. You may be thinking that they are just innocent people who want to deal with the criminal, whereas they are just trying to just create confusion. So if it is a market, it's also very difficult because, depending on the population of that such market, if it is densely populated and there is a cry of come and see this what to do, those who want to the abductors of children also
Well, if we had like a task force, maybe like local police in that market, that you've already established that things like this can actually happen there because there are jobless people, there are people that just want to escalate the thing. So if we have people there that immediately you hear, hey, they're already out, to be like, okay.
Yes. Most markets nowadays they have such movement too, who are employed to ensure that there is sanity in the market. So that, but at the same time, it doesn't erase totally.
All right,
with
so much mistrust, bitterness, and suspicion in our society today, no thanks to the menace of banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, and all forms of vices that we have in our country, there's a likelihood that there would be an increase in jungle justice. People are angry. They want to unleash this anger. What can be put in place to ensure that these are forestalled?
Well, the only thing that you can still put in place is security. Then the question will now eventually be, how do we secure the life and property of the citizens, whether in the market, whether outside the market? So, and it is when every one of us sees securities of life and property, we look at it holistically, and everybody is involved. If you see the movement of somebody and you suspect such a person and you are in the market, you don't need to keep quiet. Disseminate the information to the appropriate authority, and he will be invited, if he be perpetrating of that act or eventually run away from that place once you know that, because there is no person with criminal minded person, they will want to do their crime and go scot free. But if they see symptoms of their likelihood of their being caught after perpetrating such an act, they will not perpetrate, they will just leave. So it's just the security education to the marketers, market women, men, and those or other ones who are involved in one or two business within the market on a security education and enlightenment by the market associations or whichever name they call themselves, so that people will be aware of how to do when they see. From some people pass across, they just see meaningful information that can be extremely useful, that if processed and it becomes intelligent, it can be useful, that to the extent that it may raise such a threat in the market. But they will see, they will just go about, they will not even think something because they don't know. So that is just it. It's just security, education, and enlightenment.
All right, sir. So that is where we call it a wrap this morning on Breakfast Fiesta. We've been in conversation with Mr. Fatai Akisomi, a legal practitioner, discussing the topic menace of jungle justice, the mob attack in Nigeria. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, my sisters.
All right, and to you at home too, thank you so much for being a part of Breakfast Fiesta today. We appreciate it so much and look forward to having you join us same time next week. Until then, I say thank you on behalf of the producer, Oladimeji Salaudeen. Do have yourself a great week ahead. My name is Jamila Elibidi.
And my name is Florence Shera. I'm going to leave you with this one. When you see something, say something. Be security conscious.
Security is everybody's business.
Yes.
It's the fiesta. 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 Chit chat and inspiration for the morning. Regular heads up on global observances. Thorough and insightful analysis from experts and professionals. You don't have to look any further, cause Breakfast Fiesta serves you all you need. We make your day come alive.
rédíò tí ó láfiwé Oluyole FM àwa ni bàbá.
Aago mọ́kànlá àbọ̀ lórí ìkànnì Oluyole 98.5 FM. Àsìkò ti tó fún Ongbáyágíyágí pẹ̀lú Lamidi Adéyẹmí tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ sí Lamadex.